Good evening and welcome to ET, the talk show by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. My name is Thomas, your host for the show. It was Benjamin Franklin who said this. Benjamin Franklin said that you either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. Now, I have got the book and the author here this evening, but before I introduce him, let's take a look at this video. Okay, looks like we found the video. Now let's take a look at the video. Okay, looks like we found the video. Now let's take a look at the video.
Books. Marcus, well done.
It's all for you. Why OUU? Because I was told by Marcus that all of you inspired him. That's one of the main reasons the birth of the book, Now or Never.
Books. Marcus, well done.
It's all for
I had a
you.
life-changing
Why
experience.
OUU?
The life-changing experience required me to use my butt
I was
to
told
be
by
on the
Marcus
chair.
that
So as I was writing,
all of
actually
you-
this period,
all of you
I cried the most
inspired him.
because there's a lot of
That's
emotions
one
involved.
of the main reasons the birth
So
of
the book is
Now
written
or Never.
to actually inspire people like me because it's really challenging period.
It's all
I
for
had a
you.
life-changing
Why
experience.
OUU?
The life-changing experience required me to use my butt
I was
to
told
be
by
on the
Marcus
chair. So as I was writing, actually this period, I cried the most because there's a lot of emotions involved.
one of the main reasons
So the book is
Now
written
or Never.
to actually inspire people like me because it's really challenging period. I had a life-changing experience. Life-changing experience required me to use my So the book is written to actually inspire people like me. So the book is written to actually inspire people like me.
Author of this best-selling book with us, Marcus Teo. Welcome, Marcus.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yes. So, Marcus, tell us a little bit about Now or Never. What inspired you to come up with this book? Bestseller for 12 consecutive weeks, right, in
Yes.
MPH, right, and also the best business nominee,
Yep.
right, in MPH as well in 2017,
Yep.
right? Wow, tell us more about this.
This book is written to help fellow entrepreneurs because over the years I realized that it's so difficult to be a full-time entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We face all kind of challenges from first your parents being skeptical and then later your friends and then your colleagues and so on. So the real inspiration came in 2016. So that's why this session is called From Zero to Bestseller, right?
Yes.
At that moment actually was my lowest in my life, lowest time,
Okay.
where my business wasn't doing well and my relationship failed.
Okay.
So for a young man who relatively young,
Right.
who
Right.
has no money and no honey,
We'll find out how young you are later. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
yeah. So I've told myself that I needed to do something great and beyond myself.
Right.
And if I had these difficulties trying to run my business for quite a few years, I
Okay.
believe a lot of people would have the same problem like me. And I was very fortunate that I had friends who helped connected me to the publisher.
Yes.
So I decided that, hey, let's do something great. So that's the starting point of the journey.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm curious because people have been telling me you want to make a mark for yourself in the industry for being who you are, to be recognized and write the book, right? But it's not as easy as just that, isn't it? How did you come up with, the content for no less than a bestseller? You know?
Actually, the most important thing is to find the reason for doing so. You're right that we want to make a mark for ourselves, but I want to also share this with everyone. Do not just do something for yourself.
Right.
You need to have at least two purposes.
Yes.
One is a self-serving purpose, like I
Okay.
want to be a bestseller author. That's self-serving.
Right.
But if it's not going to help your community, then you are just doing something on your own.
All right.
So I really hope that everyone who's doing writing a book has also the intention to actually help the community. So I believe that when you help the community, you will receive their support.
Right.
So how did I have a book this thick? In fact, when I first started writing, I only had like 80 pages.
Okay.
And my
Okay.
publisher said, hey, you don't have enough content to publish a book. So I said, wow, I really don't know what to write.
Okay.
But I guess it's after the momentum pick up, then I started to have a lot of content to write, because everyday interaction becomes stories.
Right.
So I learned to churn stories out of everyday interaction.
Right.
I posted on Facebook asking my friends, hey, what are the problems that you have?
Yeah.
What do you want to hear from me?
Yes.
And all kinds of content and comment came in, and
Yeah.
then I connected the dots.
Okay.
And then they became stories, and then I took photos and I invited friends to contribute.
Okay.
So, well, yeah, eventually it became a 300 over page book.
Okay. So basically, what you just mentioned earlier, you hit, can I say, rock bottom in your
Yes.
life at that particular point.
Yes.
And instead of just mauling and and then just staying where you were and weeping over spilled milk.
Yes.
You actually pick yourself up
Yep,
and said,
yep.
hey, let's do something with this.
Yes.
And you came up with the book. So why now or never? What the title is a bit catchy. Now or never. Why now or never?
It was only at the very end I decided to use this book title. Initially, the title was supposed to be just Start a Business with RM199.
RM199. Okay, we'll talk about
Yes.
more about that later.
So,
Sounds interesting.
yep. So there's no emotion involved in that title.
Okay.
So I wanted something that when someone reads it, calls the name, you're like, wow, there's energy in the name.
Right.
And being a procrastinator myself,
Okay.
so I thought,
Well,
hey,
most of us are.
yes. So
Yeah.
now or never, when I thought about it, yeah, all right, now I can use it as a motivation for
Okay.
all my friends.
Okay.
And also, no more excuses.
Right.
Not to do
Right.
things, right?
Right.
Hey, it's now or never.
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
because in life, we know there are three groups of people, right?
Three
If you,
groups, okay.
if you agree with me, right? Those who make things happen, those who wait for things to happen, and those who don't know what happened.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Correct.
yeah, I'm glad the fact that you're here. We are the people who make things happen, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think one of the keys is to be able to turn. To look at the positives instead of dwelling on the negatives.
Yes.
Right? Would you agree with me that one of the things that help you
Yes.
get started and also to be able to just take that leap of faith, so to speak?
Yes, definitely. Actually, because a lot of people will have all kinds of problems: relationship problems, financial problems, business problems, health problems. And the best moment sometimes, or most of the time, is when we know how to actually turn things around.
Yes.
Because pain, pressure, stress,
Yes.
they are excellent motivators.
Right. Or demotivators, if you look at the other way.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So someone, if they are not good in handling stress, they'll probably close themselves up,
Yeah.
stay at home, drink, or do things
Yeah.
that do not help them to
Right.
bounce back up. That's
Right.
quite sad. So
Right.
I hope everyone who's watching this will realize that, hey, if you have a friend or yourself who's having problems, don't worry, it's part of life and use it to your advantage.
Yeah, but was there something that tipped you, as in like that pushed you to say, hey, you know, I cannot be here where I am at this point in my life. I need to get up and I need to move. Or was there a driving factor behind that?
Yes.
And what was the driving factor?
The driving factor was more like rejection and a lack of success.
Okay.
Because a failed relationship also made me realize that it contributed to my push.
Right.
Where one of the reasons is that my business was not strong enough, so I had to juggle between both, and
Right.
it's tough.
Okay.
And
So you
yeah.
wanted to prove the naysayers wrong, so to speak.
That is part of it.
Okay.
But more importantly is for me to leverage on that emotion, because
Right.
when your relationship doesn't work, that emotion is very strong, and business doesn't work, that emotion is very strong as well. So combined together, and then I'm like, wow, if I don't do it now, I still had a lot of obstacles, but the amazing thing is that when I decided to do it, piece by piece, things started falling into places.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. I'm glad to hear that. You know, I'm sure that will be an inspiration to many young aspiring entrepreneurs out there. You know, when they find it being the most difficult, when they're almost ready to give up. You know, hearing something like this, you
Yeah.
know, will definitely really inspire them. Let's come back to your book.
Sure.
Start a business with only RM 199. Tell us more about that. How do you do that? No, I'll be keen to know.
Most people start a business because they have access to products.
Right.
They will start a conversation like, hey, Thomas, you know, I have access to my friend who's selling this product at good prices, import from China.
Okay.
You can make a good profit,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So they're starting from the product point of view. But I say a better way is to actually start from the problem point of view, not the product. So that will be like me finding from you, hey, Thomas,
Yeah.
what are the problems that you have?
Yeah.
And then I will talk to people like you, for example, entrepreneurs.
Right.
If out of 100 entrepreneurs that I speak to, 99 or 80 tell me that they have this problem, then I find the solution.
Right.
So with this, you already know the demand, and with the demand in hand, you can actually even get a deposit or sell your services and product upfront
Right.
before you have the supply.
Right.
Then you are very secure because cash in
Right.
hand, right?
Yeah.
And then you can source for the product or the service or someone doing it for you. And why 199? Because in Malaysia, to register a company with SSM is 70 ringgit.
Okay.
And then you get a business card logo design.
Okay.
You can do it for just 5 USD.
All right.
Or you can get a university friend who's good enough in design, do it even for free.
Right.
Maybe you exchange and clean his car or car.
Okay. Right.
And printing is about 12 ringgit
Yes.
for 100 pieces.
Yes.
So you're already in business because now you're going and meeting people and then solving people's problems, and they're really willing to part with their money when you are solving their problems.
Right. Right. But that's precisely, isn't it? I mean, being a successful entrepreneur, while in fact most successful entrepreneurs would be successful because they are able to identify opportunities.
Yes.
You know, exploit it.
Yes.
And then give a solution for the whatever problem there is.
Correct.
Right. And there was also people who even said that, you know, even if opportunity doesn't knock, create a door.
Correct,
You
correct,
know,
correct.
that kind of thing, right? Find a way to do
Yep.
it. You know, take action and find a way of doing it.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Yeah. So in your book, you also mentioned, you know, 5 Ps. Tell us a little bit about these 5 Ps. You know, the key to success, was it?
These 5 P's are keys to building trust.
Building trust.
Yes,
Right.
because in this world, in this business world, we buy things from people we trust.
Yes.
So most people work very hard in selling the product.
Yes.
But however hard you sell, when you are not trusted, they still won't part with their cash.
True. Very true.
Yeah. So first is to be trusted, we have to remember to keep our promise.
Okay.
Because
First
if-
P.
Yes.
Promise.
Just a simple promise. For example, hey, tonight we will go have dinner.
Okay.
Or I will buy you your birthday dinner.
Really? Okay.
yeah. So that we must remember, okay?
Yes, yeah,
Promise,
yeah.
keep our promise and deliver it.
Okay.
And then second is very powerful, payment.
Payment.
Because if you're late in paying, whatever branding, marketing you do, it's not going to work very well because people will say, hey, you know, you look very good in the front, but you owe me like 90 days, 120 days.
Okay.
So
Not a good paymaster.
correct. Paymaster.
Alright, okay.
So next one is people.
Okay.
We must always remember everyone
Yes.
everyone that has helped us.
Right.
Even people that we do not like, sometimes they are
Right.
the angels.
Right. Right. In
Appreciate
disguise,
them.
right?
Yes, yes,
In
yes.
disguise.
Yes, so it's very important.
Yeah.
And of course, the fourth P is punctuality.
Right.
So time is critical.
Okay.
So for us to actually build trust
Yeah.
is to be punctual.
Right.
Of course, payment is one, but in a lot of things, sometimes it's just a very tiny thing. If we say we are coming
Yeah.
by 8, we
Yes.
come by 8, something
Right.
like that.
Right.
Because if not, then if we are late, then of course we inform upfront.
Right.
So these actually help to build trust.
Yes.
And the final P, I always forget the final one.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
need to read my own book.
Right, yes. So, well, you want to know final P, you read this book.
Yes.
Get this book and read it.
Yep.
All right. So, yes, so we talk about promise, we talk about payment,
Yep.
people,
Yep.
being punctual, right? And these are actually very practical steps that we can take to actually build that trust, right?
Yes.
You know, so for example, if we, I know in India, for example, right, they say that if you are early, you are on time. You are never punctual. You know, if you are on time, you are late. You know, that kind of thing, right? So we need to be mindful of that.
Yes.
Yeah. And in also, like, for example, I train in Bhutan a lot. Right, I travel to Bhutan quite frequently, and they always say this, that for promise, when you make a promise in Bhutan, right, it is something that is sacred.
Wow.
You know, so if you break that promise, you know, then you have basically broken your own character. You know, your honor is at stake. Yeah. So these are very practical things that we can actually use.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we will be able to get some tips from here. Yeah. Great. The next thing is this. When you talk about writing a book, right? You know, I notice the way you've written this book is so easy reading. You know, it's not a typical book that you have to go actually comb through pages and pages of words. The way it's designed and written as well, I mean, it's very reader friendly. You know, was that the intention you had from the start, or
Of course
was
not.
it, okay.
When I first started, I was writing a textbook.
Okay.
When I sent my first article to my publisher,
Yeah.
he was like, "Hey, nobody's going to read the textbook. It's too boring."
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, right, a guidebook to start a business. So step 1, do this. Step 2, do that.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
like, no, you need to write stories.
Okay.
I was like quite blank
Okay.
until some friends advised that, well, stories means there's characters, there's drama, and then there's learning and
That's right.
so on. So
Yeah.
I started to read a lot of articles and I started to watch movies, and
Okay.
then I pick it up, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is how you bring in the story, you lead into the story,
Right.
and I keep the articles short because I believe we like to read short articles rather than long articles.
Right.
Because we're all busy.
Yes.
So eventually it evolved pretty well because so far my friends who have read the book say, wow,
Yeah.
it's easy read.
Right. Okay, let's take a look at some of the feedback that we have. There are several people online now
Sure.
that made some comments. You know, interesting. They mentioned things like, for example, you know, actually, I don't see much here. Hello, bosses. What do you mean by bosses, I wonder? Right. So when you write something like this, right? Do you write something? Would you put yourself in your reader's shoe? Would you have already pictured in your mind who would be reading the book and therefore write it towards
Yes,
that
all
kind
the
of
time.
thing? Or
Yes.
you know, but then how do you cater the mass to the masses?
The book is written to help aspiring and new entrepreneurs,
Yes.
and with them in mind, the content, the flow, everything is written for them.
Okay. All right. So we are back again here with Marcus. We were talking earlier about how he had written this book with his audience in mind before actually writing the entire book, right? And he was also giving his advice to entrepreneurs starting out, right? You know, what are the things that not to look out for? You know, perhaps you want to also elaborate further, you know, at additional points on that part.
Sure. So when you're starting, you should always look at the ground level.
Yep.
So not the big things, not like having a retail store, having
Sure.
a fancy website.
Yeah.
or getting investors. This is one key thing. A lot of people start by saying, "Oh, I'm looking for funding." I'm like, "Well, do you have a business case?
Yeah.
If you don't have a business case, you're not solving a relevant problem. Who is going to give you their cash?
Absolutely.
Even if they give you the cash, you are going to waste it."
Yeah, absolutely. That's true.
So the key fundamental is focus on your target audience,
Yep.
and do you know who your target audience is? And I get this a lot. Oh, I sell to everyone. So
Yeah.
if someone is saying I sell to everyone, that means you're selling to nobody. You're helping nobody yet, because you cannot be doing for everyone.
That's very true.
Even like Facebook, when
Yeah.
Facebook started, they were catered for Harvard University students.
Right.
Just that small group.
Right.
And they did so well that it expanded to the universities in US.
Okay.
And then of course the rest is history.
Yes.
So every business must start somewhere with a very specific niche market,
Right.
solving a real pain point,
That's right.
and grow from there.
That's right. I like that pain point.
Yes.
You know, so the key is to find what that pain point is.
Yes.
But instead of pressing on it further, right? You find a solution and help them solve that real problem, right?
Yes.
And that spurs the business on.
Yep.
Right. It also gives you a sense of achievement as an entrepreneur.
Correct.
To be able to have helped someone.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So then the other thing is what is a piece of advice that you would give people who want to be a best-selling author like you?
Oh, okay. Same thing. Focus on your niche market. This book is written to help entrepreneurs to start business,
Yeah.
and those who are new in business.
Right.
And I discovered that actually the bonus is that those who have started business is very keen on getting this book because they already faced the problem.
Okay.
So same thing when you're writing the book, please do not market your book after your book is ready.
Right.
My marketing started before I started writing the first page.
Wow.
So I signed a publishing contract November
Yes.
2016.
Yes.
And then shortly after that, I was promoting the content of my book, or rather asking questions,
Right.
engaging my audience
Right.
non-stop.
Okay.
So whatever is in the book, a lot of it actually comes from audience. So if I would ask you, hey Thomas,
Yes.
as an entrepreneur, what is the biggest challenge you have? You tell me, right?
Right. Yep.
Then I would
Yep.
say, oh, okay, so Thomas has this problem. I can make a safe assumption
Yes.
that if Thomas has this problem, probably few other persons also have the same problem.
Right.
Now I'm going to write something that is using my personal story and giving you the solution.
Right.
Guess what? The book is not published. Now I will send you the article. How do you feel?
Nice.
Feel great, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I take into consideration what you
Yeah.
have shared with me.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I did this process with many friends and engaging those who are in the business.
Okay.
So I was gathering a lot of data as I was writing
Right.
and doing a lot of research and engaging them not just in the content but also in book cover.
Right.
I got them to vote for the book cover,
The design.
the design, the
Okay.
photo.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Yes.
And
yes.
the photo that is actually being on the front page is actually the least popular photo,
Okay.
not the most popular one.
Right. You chose the least popular photo.
For a few reasons.
Okay.
Because this photo is the best representation of entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Because if you are doing something that the majority thing you should do, you probably do not have a business case.
Right.
That's first.
Right.
Second is that out of all the photos that were taken, this is the only photo where I actually told my photographer to say, hey Rainer, shoot this please.
Okay.
So it's very me.
Okay.
Whereas the rest is he would say, hey, do this,
Was
do that.
directed.
Correct.
Directed.
So
Okay.
as an entrepreneur, you need to be yourself, true to yourself.
Yes.
You need to follow your instinct. You need to do things that you need to do.
And to kind of go against the grain, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. You know, if you, I mean, to dare to be different.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Or find your blue ocean, so to speak.
True. True.
Yeah. So to speak. Yeah.
And if you look at the photo, actually, there's a huge blatant mistake in the photo.
Really.
Yes, which after the photo was taken, I got a shock when I saw that I had no shoes on.
Okay.
So I told my
Okay.
photographer, I said, hey, where are my shoes? This
Okay.
is supposed to be a professional
Right.
photo.
Okay.
And then I realized that it's a mistake. And the same message is this: entrepreneurs must not be afraid of making mistakes.
Right.
A mistake must be made in order to progress.
But honestly, right, I wouldn't have seen it as a mistake if you had not mentioned it. You know, I would have thought it was done on purpose. You know, it was kind of like to show, you know, to show the difference, the character. You know, that's how you are.
Yeah.
You know, different, vibrant. You know, let's get our hands and feet dirty.
Right.
You know, kind of thing.
That came after I declared it as a mistake, and
Oh,
then
okay.
we make do with whatever we have.
I see. Okay.
And another thing is that if you look at the way I'm seated on a chair, it's very unconventional.
And uncomfortable as well.
Uncomfortable, yes. I'm glad you get that.
Okay.
So entrepreneurship is not about being comfortable,
True.
and it's also a dangerous way to sit. I
Yes.
could fall.
Yes.
So it's also to remind entrepreneurs and myself out there that well,
Risk taking.
yes, we take some risks,
Yes.
and if we are successful, we need to be humble because we could still fall anytime.
Right. And notice how your elbows are clasping your knees.
Mm-hmm.
That's taking educated risk, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So likewise, am I right to say this? Then you know, in business and entrepreneurship as well, we cannot take risks blindly.
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
but we need to take calculated risks.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can you accept the worst case? So
Yes.
for my case was, worst case that could happen is I lose all my money, my business fail. Okay, I get a full-time job. I can live with that.
See, so much information, so much to learn just by looking at the cover alone, right? You know what more when you start reading the book itself, right? Cool. So, what would be your top 3 things, all right, that you want our audience to take back with them from this show?
3 things. Okay. First thing is find the answer from within.
Yes.
So, do you know what you really want in life?
Right.
If you do not know yet, it's okay. But start doing something and explore. Because if you do nothing, nothing happens. So, the first thing is actually to find the answer from within, not from external sources. You talk to a lot of people, you can get advice, but the real answer normally is within.
Okay.
Because only you know about yourself, right?
Yes.
You can't ask your mom, your dad, your colleagues.
Well, they might know a little bit, you know.
Correct,
but,
correct.
But not through and through.
Correct.
Yeah.
You have your life.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one, finding it within. Second is taking action.
Taking action.
Too many people have too many ideas, too much planning, but insufficient action.
Yes.
No action, nothing happens.
Yes.
So take action, do it, make some mistakes, is okay,
Yeah.
and learn along the way.
Yeah. I like that point. You know, Mark Zuckerberg himself was saying, you know, in the Facebook founder, right? He said this: just move fast. Break things. If you are not breaking things, you are not moving fast enough. You know,
Nice.
right? You know, so it's interesting. You know, so yeah, break things and fail along the way. You know, because people say failure is the mother of success.
Right,
Isn't
right.
it? Right.
Yeah.
So you learn from your
True.
failures, then you pick yourself up and move from there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so first one, find from within.
Yes.
Second, take action. Third one is actually to do something really meaningful for the community.
Right.
Because ultimately, I would be very worried if an entrepreneur say my goal is to make millions.
Yes.
Because just imagine this: if a surgeon tells you that my goal is to buy a Ferrari,
Okay.
How would you
feel? Okay. Yes.
Compared to
very apt example.
a surgeon who say my goal is to help save lives, save families.
Right.
So your intention, your vision must be very kind and clear, and it must help the community.
Right.
And I strongly believe that when you do that,
Right.
money will come after you because
Oh yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And you can see very obviously from Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
He doesn't care about his stock price that much when he made an announcement recently that Facebook pages will not be so much so populated with
Right.
brand content,
Correct.
but rather than individual personal content.
That's right.
So
That's
that's a true leader right there. Profits is important, but secondary.
Right.
Purpose first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Marcus. You know, the last half an hour was just enlightening, just talking to you. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You have heard from the author himself, from zero to bestseller, right? In less than how long? Less than 12?
About 10 months.
10 months?
Yeah.
Less than 10 months. And also a bestseller along names such as Richard Branson, Tony Fernandez, Tony Robbins, right? These are the big names that Marcus Teo is sitting right next to in MPH bookstore shelves, right? So yes, get the book, read it, all right? And as Ben Franklin said, and I want to repeat this again, all right? And that is to write something worth reading or do something worth writing. I think Marcus has done both very well. Thank you very much. You are watching ET, the talk show by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. Good night.